Hey everyone, today I wanted to talk about why I decided to get my LPN license versus getting my RN license, and why I decided to go the LPN route versus RN route first. So I started out as a medical assistant in my healthcare career. So I became an MA and graduated in 2020, so the beginning of the pandemic. I wasn't sure at first if I wanted to become a nurse or not. So I took some time, started looking into schools, started working, just to kind of get the feel of what working in healthcare is actually like. And I do really like it, so I decided to pursue nursing. So I live in Denver, Colorado, and if you live in Denver, then you know how there are not that many nursing programs in the Denver area. In all of Colorado, there are quite a few, but for where I live, there's really not that many. Like there's maybe like 5 or 6 programs. So all the programs that I did look into, I originally was going to get my ADN, and all the programs were full-time, and a lot of them are really hard to get into. They have a ton of prerequisite requirements, like 9 different classes, as well as taking the ATITs test, and you have to score a certain amount, and then also the tuition was out the wahoo. So with where I'm at in my life, I am now 27 years old. When I first started looking into nursing programs, I was like 24, 25. And I was just like, I'm not at a place that I can, go to school full time for 2 years and not work. And as an MA, you're kind of at a disadvantage because almost every place that you work at as an MA is like a doctor's office or urgent care or whatever. And they're usually only open Monday to Friday unless you work at urgent care. But I worked at urgent care as an MA, and my schedule wasn't working with the idea of me going back to school full time. So then I started looking into, are there such things as part-time programs? So I looked into part-time programs, and there were seriously only 2 in Denver. And I mean, this was a few years ago. There are more now, but when I looked, there were literally 2 options. One is the school that I currently go to for an LPN program that's part-time. And then another was an RN BSN program, which I was more attracted to, but the tuition is like $80,000, and obviously you're going to school for 4 years still. Since it's part-time, it's not going to be like a typical accelerated BSN program where you could maybe get it in 3 years. It would have taken the full 4. And also I would have been poor, really poor, trying to pay for tuition. So I just was like, I need to be realistic with my goals. I became an MA because I liked how it was a short track in school to be able to get in school, get out, and automatically start working. And being an MA, you do not get paid what you deserve. Same with CNAs. And I just decided, I want to pursue further in healthcare for other reasons, but also, of course, money is always like an attraction to moving up in the field, no matter what direction you go, nursing or not. So I was like, man, I cannot afford to, pay a mortgage, pay for all my stuff, my car payment, insurance, everything, and pay a ridiculous amount in tuition. And I just was like, I need to be realistic and go probably for a shorter term program. So the program I looked into was an LPN part-time program, so class 2 days a week and then clinicals on the weekends. There were a few prerequisite requirements, as well as they required you either were an MA or a CNA in good standing with an active like registration or license prior to applying. That's a different requirement than some of the other schools that I've seen come out recently for LPN. They do still require the prereqs, but some of them had a little bit more, like you need to do an interview, you need to take the TEAS test and score a certain amount. So I applied to the one part-time program there was in Denver, and they were like, I'm so sorry, you know, the program is already full. There is a waiting list, but they're like, unfortunately, since you missed the what's it called? Since you missed the orientation, they were like, unfortunately, you wouldn't even be able to qualify to get on the wait list to get into the program. I had applied in October and the cohort was going to start in January. But they were like, you can go ahead and submit your application anyway. We'll take a look at what prereqs you have and your transcripts from your MA school, and then we can see what else you still need to take, and then you can take that throughout the year, and then we can automatically apply you to the 2023 cohort. And so I was like, dang, I'm gonna have to wait like a whole other year for school. But I still had to take another prereq, and obviously I couldn't get in right away because of missing orientation. So I was like, you know what, it's worth the wait. At that point I was like, I just want to get into school. It's gonna, you know, take me so long to do these prereqs. So I was like, you know what, this is the best option for me right now. So I also really looked into what the job outcomes are for LPN versus RN before I applied and committed to school, because you want to make sure that you're going somewhere and you like what your job is going to be when you get out of school. You don't want to just get into school and get into something that you hate. So I decided to go for the LPN because it was a shorter program. The tuition was free because of the state of Colorado had funding, and I really hate school, so I really wanted to do a program that was shorter lived, as well as there's still opportunity for growth as an LPN. You can take an LPN to ADN bridge program, which is usually only a year minus the prereqs, and become an RN. So you are not limited as an LPN, and I just want to make that clear for people that you can be successful and work in hospitals, work in outpatient, work in inpatient. You have so many opportunities as an LPN, and no one talks about this because, you know, back in the day LPNs like got weeded out and only worked in nursing homes. Well, because of COVID, that all changed, and so everywhere is hiring LPNs, at least where I live. Big magnet hospitals in Colorado hire LPNs in the ER, working the floor, med surge, psych. Like, you have a ton of job opportunity as an LPN, and you can make a lot of money. So a lot has changed in the nursing world. Don't listen to the haters. You can be an LPN and be a badass. You can be an RN and be a badass. You're a nurse at the end of the day. You still take the NCLEX. Yes, your scope of practice is a little bit different than an RN, but you are needed, you are valued, and you are a badass. So kudos to my other LPN students out there, my other MAs looking to further their career, or CNAs. Don't be discouraged about going the LPN route if that is going to work better for your situation. If you're able to go to RN school, absolutely do it. If you're able to go to LPN school, absolutely do it. Both are amazing things to have in your life and a really great goal to reach, and it is definitely attainable, and you got this. So yeah, keep on living, keep on dreaming, work hard, y'all, and good luck.